Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the K-pop albums I bought in 2023. Obviously, I don't buy every single album that gets released. I only buy specific albums, for the groups that I collect cards for. But I wanted to, put together all those albums and talk about things I liked, things I didn't like, but also talk about what I would improve from a graphic designer standpoint and also a consumer standpoint. Since I'm a graphic designer, I like discussing these things, and since I am a K-pop consumer, these things are also important to me, so I thought it would be fun to discuss. So let's get into it. I think as K-pop consumers, albums are definitely things we should be judging by the covers. These are collectible items for us, right? Albums should look interesting or fun or unique. These companies know K-pop collectors buy these albums for collecting purposes specifically, and some people, myself included, buy a lot of these albums. So of course we want the album sitting on our shelves to be interesting. We want it to draw our attention and make us want to, grab it off the shelf and look at it. I think that's the purpose of all packaging, really. So when I am reviewing these albums and kind of looking back at everything throughout the year, I take certain things into account. The first thing being the packaging itself. I always look at the practicality of the packaging. There's certain things that I specifically like when it comes to K-pop albums, and not everyone may agree with that. Packaging is definitely very subjective, but from my point of view, I look at the practicality of the packaging, and if it works sitting on a shelf, and how easy it is to open, and if the contents inside can be well maintained, those types of things. But I also look at how well the packaging incorporates the overall concept and theming of the album. As we know, every group with every comeback, they have a new concept, a new theme for the album, and so I like to see the packaging incorporate that concept as well. So with that long-winded introduction, let's dive right in. So first up, I want to start with Purple Kiss, and my main feelings about the albums they released in 2023, Cabin Fever and Festa. It's really just that I am bored by these. The practicality of the albums themselves is actually good, and these designs are consistent with albums they have released in the past. So this structure with the cardboard paper outer casing is similar to their Mem album, and I do like outer packaging like this. It is in danger of getting smushed a little bit like this one has, but for those that may collect a bunch of albums and then need to recycle some, this is definitely more practical in that sense, and it keeps everything, well maintained and together when it's sitting on the shelf. And this is similar to their Hide and Seek album. It has a plastic outer sleeve. Although I don't mind the plastic outer sleeve, it is not my favorite. But the thing with these, as I was thinking about what I would change about these albums, it kind of hit me that I wish they were swapped in a way. So for Cabin Fever, I kind of wish that RBW had done a plastic outer sleeve, because for Cabin Fever, a lot of the promo images and a lot of the theming in the music video was surrounding this hotel that the girls were in. Definitely a lot of magical elements incorporated, so I feel like they should have played into that more. So there was a key design that they used for the scheduler for this comeback. So I feel like if they had done a plastic outer sleeve like this, the photo book itself could have had the hotel like front desk imagery that they used for some of the concept photos, and in the music video they had this you know, hotel front desk. So I feel like they should have put that on the album, and then the outer sleeve could have had the keys like so it looked like they were hanging up, and it would have created this like almost 3D effect where you could feel like you could almost grab the key off the little rung. I think that would have been really interesting for Cabin Fever. And then for Festa, I feel like if they had done a matte material like this, and then this sign, the like Las Vegas type Festa sign I did here, incorporate, you know, see how this has like hollow in it? Use this hollow, use this like metallic feature they have here, use that and maybe make it embossed a little bit to really make this sign stand out more. I think if this part of the photo book was a matte material, it would make the sign pop more and be more interesting, and I think adding a embossed feature would give a cool like tactile effect to it. So yeah, those are my thoughts about Purple Kiss. So although I don't hate these, they're also not my favorite. So moving on. Next up, I am going to talk about xikers. So I was actually pleasantly surprised when I first saw the packaging for House of Tricky Doorbell Ringing. I thought that it was really fun, really playful. This group has a very youthful vibe to it, and I thought that it fit perfectly with that. So I only got one version for each of their comebacks, but this packaging is mimicking, you know, Pizza Box. They kind of had that, I don't know if it was in any of the music videos or if it was just like one of the promo videos, but it was kind of like house party type of vibe. So like, you know, ordering a pizza, that type of thing, but also this like the red and white detailing that they included. It's a giving, like, I'm from New Jersey, it's very much giving, you know, mom and pop pizza shop type of vibes to me. So I thought that was very cute, very endearing. Just like the whole, all the detailing around the edges of the box, like here having their names here, but on a normal pizza box this would have like the ingredients that you put in the pizza and you would check it off, and just all the detailings around the edge here. I just thought that it was very thoughtful, very cute, very fun, and I was again pleasantly surprised when they continued that into the How to Play mini, the second comeback. So for this one it was more like video game themed, I guess. They had a lot of pixel art, which they also incorporated into the design of the box. So the outside is kind of supposed to mimic a video game. So they have that little detailing here, and then they continued with the pixel art inside here. And yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised. There honestly isn't much that I would change about this because my expectations for KQ are so low. So when they came out with this, I was like, wow, all right, I like this. And I really like the color scheme they went for, the teal and the yellow. You know, it was summery, it was bright, it was just very vibrant. I really liked it. So yeah, I really liked this, and I hope that KQ continues giving xikers good packaging. So here's the hoping. All right, next up. Next we have TXT, and this is specifically the Temptation album. I have not bought the Freefall album. I probably will eventually, but I also know that the main Freefall album, not the Gravity version, that has a part of the outer packaging design where you have to rip it, and I absolutely hate that. I hate it. I hate it so much. But with these specifically, I was actually, again, pleasantly surprised when Big Hit first announced, or Hybe, sorry, whatever, first came out with the packaging specs for this album because one, I thought the colors were really cool, really interesting. I kind of have a love-hate, leaning more towards hate relationship with the TXT color schemes that they go for. I really think that they lean more boring than anything else. So when I saw these greens and pinks, I was like, oh, this is unique for them. It's really fun, and it plays so well into the like 70s hippie vibe. Don't do drugs, kids. That this comeback had, and especially Sugar Rush Ride was, that music video was very much like kind of trippy, lots of like fairy-esque kind of We're High vibes. But like, I don't know, I thought this color scheme fit really well with that, especially since I had a lot of like outdoor whimsical type scenes as well. I don't mind the hardbound book, but one issue that I have when companies do books like this, and I will repeat this often in this video, I want something to hold the inclusions. Please companies, I know you're not listening to this video, but when you do books like this, I need some type of pocket inside to hold the inclusions, because I cannot tell you how many times I would take this off the shelf and everything would fall out. Just goodbye. Everything is falling out because it is just willy-nilly sitting in here, and it drives me up a wall. So yeah, I just wish that there was like some pocket for the CD and some pocket for all the other inclusions. That is my biggest pet peeve with book packaging like this. But like, so even though I don't like that aspect of it, overall I really did enjoy the packaging and the theming and the color scheme, and like even this book itself is like a really nice material. I think it's well put together, even that this just fell out. So yeah, I don't know, I did overall enjoy this, and I really enjoyed the like, I don't know, this very fun, cool aspect of it, very whimsical, very on brand for them. So besides the loose inclusions, overall I enjoyed it. Oh, next up we have Oneus, and I am sad to say that I do not like this packaging. My biggest problem is that this breaks all consistency that Oneus has had with all of their other albums. Literally all of their other albums have always been smaller, rectangular boxes. And I have always praised Oneus for being very consistent with their packaging since the start of their career. And then they did this year. At least like the two albums they came out with this year were the same size, but these books, again, the books, and these are massive. These are very big books, which I find a bit unwieldy, but similar to what I said about TXT, the inside does not have anything to hold the inclusions and keep the inclusions secure, so they always fall out. I will say with the Pygmalion album, they did have something to hold the CD, which is good. I enjoyed that. But I just find books this big to be very unwieldy. And with La Dolce Vita specifically, this outer plastic casing that they did, I hate it. I hate it so much. The less plastic used in packaging, the better. But yeah, they just, I don't know who made these decisions. Like, this has the CD holder here, which is good, but all the other inclusions were loose in the album, which is very annoying. Like, I will say the quality of the photo books themselves is very, very nice. And like, I mentioned this in my unboxing of this video, but unboxing of this album, the vellum paper here I thought was a very like nice, elegant touch. But yeah, it's just, and it sucks because I think the concepting and the theming for these albums was very strong, and I thought it was really cool and very elegant. And like, so I'm kind of jumping around thoughts here. for Pygmalion, this stone design that they have kind of fits in with the theming of the Pygmalion album, and with like the mythology. They've done mythology a lot in the past, so I think this all fits, and it kind of, this design works with their Malice album as well. I don't like this pocket on the outside. I think it gets caught on things when I take it like on and off my shelf, so that's a little bit annoying. I think to improve this, you get rid of the pocket on the front and take this like metallic detailing and incorporate that into the veining of the stone to make it pop a little bit. So like, you know, you turn the album, you catch the light, and you kind of see the silver metallic veining throughout the stone. I think that would have been really cool. Or like use this silver metallic to emboss the logo here. I think that would have been cool and a better use of this silver detailing than how they did it. And then with La Dolce Vita, get rid of this plastic. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. And I think keeping the cover, like, I love this cover art. I think is so pretty, and especially because the theming around this album was a mermaid concept. I think the watercolor effect is very pretty, but I would have taken kind of like this, some type of metallic, some type of hollow, and incorporated that into the cover so that like you turn it and it hits the light, and then it kind of creates this like eye-catching moment, kind of like sun hitting the water and sparkling. Like, I think if they incorporated that type of element into the cover, it would have looked so cool. It would have looked awesome, especially if the cover was matte like this and then it had just like some hollow or metallic or sparkly type of accent. Oh, it would have been so cool. So yeah, that's what I would have done for these. And yeah, I also would not have made them photo books, but it's like, if you're gonna do a book, have a pocket inside. Please, just have a pocket inside. But yeah, I mean, I think the watercolor is so pretty. So like there's so many elements about the design that I think is so pretty. It's just that execution of the packaging is so annoying. So it's frustrating. But that's that for Oneus. So let's move on. Next up, our Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher is tricky for me. I always have had a hard time thinking of ways that I could make the Dreamcatcher packaging more interesting, at least specifically talking about the From Us album. So the From Us album is the last of the Apocalypse series, so I appreciate that they did a box again. So all of the Apocalypse series albums are in a square box like that, and then the limited album is a like rectangular box. So I like the consistency there. Do I dislike this? No. Do I think it's a little boring? Yes. And I have always had that thought when it came to the Apocalypse series packaging. I will say I do like the neon colors they chose for this comeback. I think that that kind of went along with the more like hopeful feeling that Bon Voyage was giving with this comeback. So I do like the neon. It's very bright. It's more happy, I guess you could say, in comparison to the rest of the Apocalypse series. And I do like the inclusions that they did for this album. You got like a monster sticker, a creature sticker, I don't know, but I thought that these were really cute, so I liked that. But on the other hand, to my right here we have the Villains album. I have a lot of thoughts about these. Like I've been saying throughout this entire video, these books, if you're gonna do a book like this, you gotta have a pocket. The amount of times I have opened, like this one, this is supposed to go in this album, or the red album. Oh no, this is the red album. I thought this was the black album when I opened it. Anyway, the amount of times I have taken these off my shelf and these have just fallen out, completely fallen out, and I'm like, oh, that's great. So like, I think the elegant horror concepting that they did for this with like the cover art, the photos, I think that is very on brand for Dreamcatcher, and I liked it. It was kind of like they did this almost like just now, look, that was sliding out. They did this kind of like, I don't know, more grown-up girl crush type of concept, which was unique for them, but I like how they executed it. I just don't like these big photo books. They're unwieldy, they're not secure, they're very fragile. Like, I hit the edge here on my shelf and it ripped it. So like, they're very thin. They could have done a smaller photo book, maybe with in a hardbound book, similar to what TXT did with Temptation. I really don't like this. And I wish they had done something else, especially with, similar to like how Oneus kind of did a complete 180 and did a book when they've never done a book like that before. Dreamcatcher has never done books like this, so it breaks consistency with literally all of the albums they have done with before, and that drives me crazy. I really need my groups to be consistent with their album packaging. It's just such a pet peeve of mine. So yeah, I am not a fan. I am not a fan of these. I wish it was something else. Although, like, I think this is cool. It's elegant but creepy, which is just like, that is perfect for Dreamcatcher. So I don't know, just something else. Oh, moving on. I want to think that KQ saw my video complaining about ATEEZ packaging and said, you know what, this random chick on the internet is right, we need to give ATEEZ better packaging. And they listened, because even though I literally just said I like consistency with my groups, I did not mind the break in consistency for 2023 from ATEEZ, because we got what I think is ATEEZ's best album packaging thus far, which is Outlaw. The comic book theme that they went with for Outlaw was just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. I loved it. Do I like the plastic outer casing? No, I don't. I hate that. I like the metallic. I wish that they had just done a imprint of the, you know, like cityscape onto the metallic cover here. I think that would have been better, because I hate these fucking plastic sleeves. But the execution of the comic book theming, I thought was just so strong. Like this is just, it's so cool. It is so cool. I think they did such a good job, especially with illustrations too. The way that they incorporated so many different comic book elements and details, it really makes a difference. The little details make such a big difference. Do I wish that there was a pocket inside? Yes, I do. Did they fix that with dear old William over here? They did. So yeah, I loved this. Again, so many like book packaging for the groups that I buy from for 2023. But yeah, I just thought Outlaw was such a strong and well executed concept, so I was so pleasantly surprised. I think with William over here, it went back to being a little boring. I could think they could have done something more interesting for sure. I loved that there was a pocket. I was like, oh, this is what I need. And there on the back is a place for the CD to be held. So yes, I did enjoy that. However, like, I like the color scheme here, but I feel like what I would have liked to see from the design on the outside here is maybe something playing more into the moon phases, because a lot of the comeback for Will focused on the moon phases. So I feel like they could have done something interesting like that on the outside cover art here. Or if they wanted to be more fun, because like I think the comic book theming that they did for Outlaw is definitely more like fun and playful coming from ATEEZ. And with Will, since they created that Mito character, the rabbit, and he was like riding the moon like it was a motorcycle, I feel like if they included Mito a little bit on the outside, or like did some type of like embossed feature with the rabbit and like the half moon, I think that would have been cool too. So yeah, things I liked, things I didn't like from ATEEZ, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised with this packaging and the concepting and the theming and the color scheme. Like, we got a purple album. I was begging, pleading, hoping for a purple album. We finally got a purple album from them. So yes, overall, ATEEZ for 2023, it was a thumbs up for me, definitely. And last but certainly not least, we have Key. I feel like maybe the last 3 years or 2 years, this is the third year that Key, to me, has reigned supreme with his album packaging and concepting and theming, and just the overall package that Key gives to fans for his comebacks are perfect. They are perfect. So once again, with the Killer repackage, he was utilizing the retro theming that he has been doing for his, I want to call it a trilogy. It was Bad Love, Gasoline, and then Killer. That trilogy of albums, he had done, retro theming, concepting for all of these. So for Killer this time, it was like a video game. So he created like video game characters. The inside the photo book is like supposed to be a video game cartridge. That's what the outside design is. And he like this page, it's like a video game screen, stage clear, that's what it says. And he has this like motorcycle character. We also got a character card in here. Like, he truly does think about the little details. And like between the color palette, the blue with the neon pink is so like 80s synthwave, synth pop, which goes hand in hand with like the style of song that Killer is as well. And just it just so, literally everything about this as a graphic designer, it just makes me so freaking happy. Like, the stylization he did for the Killer logo, I think is just so cool. I just like, I don't have words to properly express how much I love Key's packaging. And I know for Good and Great, I did not buy that album, but I know that one of the versions for Good and Great was also like a employee resume like folder, and had the resume in it and other things like that, which again, it's so playful, it's so fun, and he makes it interesting, and he makes you want to collect the albums, which is like, that's the whole freaking point, right? So I don't know, once again, he has done it. He's done it. Before signing off, I also wanted to have some honorable mentions. I did not buy these albums, but I took note of them because I was impressed with how unique they were. The first one being the BSS Fighting comeback. They had a version of the album which was a shoebox, and inside the shoebox it came with like, I think, a t-shirt, like a sweatband, socks, and other things like workout gear, which was kind of the whole theming for that album as well, and like the concepting for that album. And I just thought that was so fun and playful, and to make the outer packaging look like a shoebox, that was also just so good. And the other one I want to mention is the Red Velvet Chill Kill bag version, which I think is limited, but again, it's like, this packaging to me makes it like, I want to collect that. I want to buy it. I want to collect it. I want to display it on my shelf. So it was a velvet bag that had like a mini version of like the photo book and a CD in the bag. But I'm like, this is just so, it's so cool. It is such a cool and different thing to do for album packaging. And that's what I want to see. So yes, that was my review, I guess you could say, of the 2023 K-pop albums that I bought. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.